everyone. Okay, here's what I'd like you to do for me. Today, we have a really special opportunity as we celebrate Flag Day today, but also to be able to honor members of the class of 2018 who have committed themselves to our country as they take a step in their own future into the armed forces. So to be important for today, especially with so many special guests here, that I'm going to ask to make sure that your phones are away or silenced, please, out of respect for our guests that are here. And I think when you see the celebration and the honor that you will see today, I know the fact that you will leave, I hope, feeling really good. It is really an honor today to have our community come together to celebrate the American flag, to celebrate history, as well as to celebrate the class of 2018, who will take their place on the honor wall outside of in the foyer here at the high school. But at this time, if you would please rise, as the honor guard will present the colors. Post the colors, please.
Flag, United States Army. Post the flag, United States Marine. Post the flag, United States Navy. Post the flag, United States Air Force. Post the flag, United States Coast Guard. Post the flag, Middleborough Veterans on Guard. Flags posted. Present up. Order up.
If you would please remain standing, I'd like to introduce to you the President of the class of 2019 to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Ms. Sydney Montross.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sydney, thank you very much, and as you remain standing, it is with great pleasure to introduce the Middleborough High School Concert Choir, who will perform the national anthem.
Present up.
Oh, say, can you see?
Thank you to the concert choir, and if our audience you can be seated. Flag Day. Flag Day commemorates the adoption of the United States flag on June 14, 1777, by the resolution of the Second Continental Congress. And today, the American flag represents a symbol of hope, a symbol of freedom, and a symbol of honor. So we hope that you will enjoy the assembly today and to be thinking about our alumni that are serving our country all over the world, and the newest of our alum that will be taking a step off into their respective futures. And at this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the Superintendent of Middleborough Public Schools, Mr. Brian Lynch.
Thank you, Mr. Brannigan. To our honored podium guests, thank you for coming today. Greatly appreciate it. Jason Cox, Veterans Agent for the town of Middleborough, thank you for being here. And thank you, students, for assembling today to talk about this great induction sort of ceremony that we're talking about your 2018 grads who are moving on to enlist. When they enlisted, they either have or will soon take an oath, a promise to the United States and to us, really. And that oath basically says that they solemnly swear or affirm that they will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that they will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that they will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over them, according to the regulations of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And they swear that to God, and they swear that to you. And they make a promise to our government that they will protect and defend us, the rest of us, who are out of harm's way, safe in a country where we enjoy a great deal of freedom. We sit here today in the Wayne M. Caron Auditorium, a war hero, a Medal of Honor recipient. And we remember him on this day also, as we sit in this auditorium. And as we build a new high school, the new high school auditorium will also be named the Wayne M. Caron Auditorium. So we thank the school committee for recognizing that already. I came across a poem a few years back that I thought was good. I used to use it when I was a principal of an elementary school, and it sort of makes sense to me. And the poem's called Freedom Isn't Free. There are different versions of different poems, but this one was done by a gentleman named Roger Turner. Freedom isn't free. If someone says that freedom's free, then they don't have a clue. Or of the things they take for granted and the cost to me and you. Freedom has a price tag, and it's measured out in the lives of sons and loving daughters, and husbands and in wives. The cost of freedom can be heavy. No dollar value can be set. Think of those who gave their life when you next go thank a vet. Freedom is expected, but freedom isn't free. Sacrifices must be made if freedom we will see. The choice to fight is simple. It's something someone has to do. A soldier is a hero. He or she has made a choice for you. Next time you hear somebody say they deserve all they get, take them down to the Veterans Hall and let them say thank you to a vet. So thank you very much, and thank you to our students who were headed off to harm's way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lynch, very much. It is with great pleasure to introduce to you our guest speaker for today, Mr. Jason Cox, who is the Middleborough Veterans Agent, and we're very honored and privileged that he could be here today with us. So introducing to you, Mr. Cox.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Mr. Brannigan. Thank you, Mr. Lynch, for organizing this assembly where we can gather. I'll also thank you, the Middleborough Veterans Honor Guard, for collaborating that nice presentation. Flag Day. Of all the special occasions we celebrate each year, Flag Day, June 14th, stands out amongst the most important. Today, we're not just honoring a flag, its dyed fabric and thread. Instead, we are pausing to honor everything the iconic symbol represents: our country, the principles, and our American way of life. The American flag has heard the battle cry of every American conflict. It has ushered the brave men and women of our armed forces into treacherous and unknown lands, and those who pay the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our nation, its solemn escorts then home. A silent sentinel of freedom, strength, and peace, the American flag represents the heart and soul of our great country. It speaks in echoes of our nation's past, of the founders of this country making their defiant statement in 1776. George Washington was amongst the first to interpret its symbols, stating, "We take the stars from heaven, the red from our mother country, separating it by white stripes, thus showing that we have separated from her, and the white stripes shall go down to prosperity, representing our liberty." To the members of the armed forces, our flag is a constant reminder. Red, symbolizing the blood shed from patriots who fought to ensure our nation's freedom. Blue, for the beating and bruising we've endured to attain peace. And the white, signifying the integrity with which our men and women serve, with the purity of their mission. Our beloved flag carries the sounds of battle, loyalty, courage, patriotism, sacrifice, and victory. It carries the sounds of freedom and the solemn sound of a bugle blowing taps for all who have paid the highest price for that freedom. Some may believe patriotism is out of style, or that the Pledge of Allegiance is a waste of time. Those who have served our country have never felt this way, and never will. How could the Declaration of Independence ever be out of style? We hold those truths to be self-evident. How can the Constitution ever be out of style? We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. And when has anyone read the Bill of Rights and thought that was just a passing fad? The powers not delegated to the United States by this Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. The freedom we know and enjoy will never be out of style. Those documents, the Declaration, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, will never go out of style because they contain the feelings, hopes, and dreams of all the people for all time. The American flag, those broad stripes and bright stars represent those documents, and the nation based on them, remains the pinnacle of American idealism and the beacon of enduring hope for the world. It will never be out of style as long as the Americans cherish their freedom and are willing to fight for it. Patriotism is the appreciation of the principles on which our country is founded. Politicians and policies may come and go, but the principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness remain the same and always will remain in style. The Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag is our proud affirmation that we know that American stands for, and we promise to believe in those principles. Today, we're not only honoring a flag, we are honoring our country and the way of life it represents. From time to time throughout history, men and women have been called to defend this country. And Middleborough has its estimated 5,000 of people within its ranks. For them, this country holds a special meaning. But you do not have to fight a war to protect America or be a veteran to appreciate it. You just have to have an interest in America that each one of you have shown here this day. By honoring and upholding the values of our great nation on which it was founded upon, you help defend our home and our way of life. That's why our flag is so special. It represents everything that we are and everything we have become. It represents our future and our freedom. Thank you.
so very, very much for being here and that powerful message to our student body. I do want to take a moment and recognize the Middleborough High School Orchestra, who performed as you came into this morning for the assembly. So a nice round of applause for the Middleborough High School Orchestra. Outstanding job. And at this time, I would like to introduce up in the back the Middleborough High School Band, who has a musical selection for you to enjoy. Thank you, Mr. Pitsley and the MHS Band. Outstanding job. It is with great pleasure to introduce to you the members of the class of 2018 who have made a selection in their future life to serve our nation. And we could not be prouder of these students. This year in the graduating class, we have 5 students who are heading off in the armed forces. And we, at graduation day, recognized 4 out of the 5 because the 5th one we did recognize is already serving overseas, who was able to attain his diploma early so that he was able to go off to serve. We are deeply proud of them, and as a commitment to our support of them and to know the fact of how proud we are, as you enter the wall, this high school, on the wall over by where Mrs. Scanlon is our wall of honor. And what this wall signifies is really just our commitment to our alumni who go off to serve, and to know the fact that we'll be thinking of them, we'll be praying for them, and we know the fact that we hope they'll know how proud we are of them. And they will take their place on the wall today. And then they will have their picture on the wall for the next 4 years of their service. And when they are done with their respective boot camp and they have their picture done of them in their uniform, we ask that they will send their photo to us so we can place their picture next to their senior picture. On college signing day and future signing day on May 19th, these 4 individuals had their opportunity to sit at the table and sign that they were committing to start strong in their next chapter of life. They have their pictures on the wall to the right of our auditorium that you walk by every day looking at the class of 2018. And now we will have another photo of them that we'll be placing on the wall of honor. And we could not be prouder of them. I do want to start with a member of our class of 2018 who is currently serving in Alaska, Mr. Charles Browning. He had his picture done last May as a member of the class of 2017. He ended up going into and enlisted and was sent off in January of 2018, and we could not be prouder of him. Just recently, I had the opportunity to connect with him, and he is thoroughly enjoying his next chapter. He knows it was the right choice for him, and we could not be prouder of him. His picture sits on our table, and then I will be placing that photo today with his senior class photo as well. So congratulations to Charles, who's serving the United States Army. We have two other alumni who are not able to join us today. The first one is John Curtin. John Curtin, you know, was a member of many activities here in the building, especially our football team. John was part of our fire science program and really did an outstanding job during his time here at the high school. John is heading off to the Army National Guard, and we're really excited for his next step. And John will be taking his place on the Wall of Honor today. So a nice round of applause for John. Our next senior who is unable to join us today is Dakota Phillips. She was hoping to join us this morning, but unfortunately schedule took over and she was unable to be here. But Dakota, all I know, many of you know her, an outstanding student, an outstanding athlete, an outstanding member of the music program, namely our band, and just really found her passion and where she wanted to take her life. We couldn't be prouder of her. Dakota will be entering the United States Army, and we just know the fact that she has found a pathway for her to thrive. So a nice round of applause for Dakota. She takes the place. Our next member of the class of 2018 who is here today to join us, and I'm going to ask him to join us on stage, is Mr. John Poirier. If you could come up to the stage, John. A nice round of applause for John. John, as you are taking your place on the Wall of Honor here at Middleborough High School, know the fact that as your journey is starting in the United States Marine Corps, we couldn't be prouder of you, what you've accomplished here, and we're so glad that you were a sachem and finished your journey here at Middleborough High School. And we know the fact that as you're taking your place on that Wall of Honor, you will always remember us here because we will be always thinking about you and knowing the fact that you're going to be a wonderful addition of protecting our country. So thank you so very, very much. And our final alumni that I'd like to have him join us on stage, please, is Mr. Matthew Totora. Matthew, as someone who we have had the opportunity to watch you grow here as a student and as an athlete and as a leader, we are just so excited for you and the step you're taking in your life. We know the fact you're going to make us proud and your family proud, and we're just so thankful that you've taken a step into the armed forces to protect our country and to protect our freedoms. So we're just so thankful for that. And we're so proud of you, and as you take your place on the wall, as we're walking by you and the other alumni who are on their respective journeys all over the world, just know the fact that we're just so deeply proud that you're a sachem and always will be. And we're so excited for your next step as you will be entering the United States Army very, very soon. So congratulations to you and your family. Before we close today, I think it's important as for us as a school community that in order for us to be a highly functioning school, it needs to be that we need to be connected to each other. And I believe deeply that we are. But it also takes a village to ensure the fact that we as a school can thrive. And I can tell you the fact that it is I must thank deeply, and I hope you will join me in this, is to thank the unbelievable veterans that are here today. Because we know that you represent many of the veterans from our community, and just know the fact that the support you give to our school and to our town, and the fact that you're here today to help us celebrate our alumni that are heading off to serve. We're just so deeply thankful for your service to our nation and to our community. And just know the fact that we hold you in the highest of regard as heroes to us, because that's what sachems do. So just a thank you so deeply for all that you've given to our country. special note of thanks to the American Legion for their support of, over the years, of so many opportunities and programs and events here at Middleborough High School. It is a wonderful partner to have and to work with and to collaborate, so thank you to the Legion in particular. And before we close, we're going to be adding one more piece to the ceremony. And I want to make sure that you're really paying attention to this really special part of this assembly. And I hope that as you're listening and you're learning about what the importance of each one of the flags that were posted earlier in this assembly, that you're just thinking about our freedoms and as well. And at this time, I would like to ask the Honor Guard to please perform the flag folding ceremony.
This folding ceremony for the flag of the United States speaks to the principles on which our country was originally founded. The canton field, the blue portion of the flag, denotes honor, and the stars within it represent the states that have provided the men and women who have served our country honorably. The canton field of blue dresses from left to right, and the flag is only inverted when draped as a pall on the casket of a veteran who has served our country honorably. In the armed forces of the United States, at sunset, when the bugle sounds retreat, the flag is lowered, folded into a triangle, and kept under watch throughout the night as a tribute to our nation's honored dead. The next morning, it is brought out, and as the bugle sounds call to the colors, it is run aloft. The first fold is a symbol of our belief in our national motto, "In God we trust." The second fold is a symbol of our devotion to the United States of America. The third fold is in honor of and remembrance of the veterans who have departed our ranks. The fourth fold represents our reliance on God for guidance and strength. The fifth fold is a tribute to freedom and all that it means to us. The sixth fold represents our patriotism as we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. The seventh fold is a tribute to all of our armed forces, for it is the armed forces who protect our flag and our country against all her enemies. The eighth fold is made to honor mothers whose faith, love, loyalty, and devotion have shaped the character of the men and women who have made this country great. The ninth fold is made to honor fathers who gave their sons and daughters for the defense of our country. The 10th fold is a tribute to American families everywhere. Our strength is built on their strength. The 11th fold, a symbol of our belief in equality and justice for all. The 12th fold is a tribute to unity, the uniting of many states and many cultures into a country with common goals and ideals. And the 13th fold is a tribute to the 13 original colonies from which this great country began. After the flag is completely folded and the end tucked in, its triangular shape reminds us of the cocked hats worn by George Washington and the soldiers who served under him to establish and preserve for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today. Thank you.
Again, if you would please join me in a round of applause for the Middleborough Section. And to our student body, I hope as you are leaving us today and heading back off to Block 4 for the remainder of the day, that you are having some takeaways for yourself of how you connect to the important messages of today, and really where your potential journeys could be taking you as well. Today, what will happen is at the conclusion of the assembly that our alumni that are here today and their families will place their senior pictures on the Wall of Honor, where they will remain for their 4 years of their service to our country. And when they graduate from boot camp, we ask that their families would send us the 8x10 of one of their photos so that we will then be able to place their photo next to their senior one, as I will be doing with Charles's today. To our alumni, once again, we wish you well in your journey. Thank you for serving our country. We're deeply proud of you and your commitment to serve, and how important of a role that is. So just another round of applause for our alumni. Thank you, Mr. Cox. Thank you for being here today out of your busy schedule to share a very powerful message to our student body. It's an important message, and we're just so thankful that you could join us today, so thank you. Absolutely. And of course, to our music department and to Mr. Lynch for being a part of this celebration today, we thank you very much as well. At this time, I want to thank you for being such an incredible audience today. And as always, we're so very proud of what you do and how you rise to the occasion each and every day and support each other, because that is what Sachems do on a daily basis. So I thank you to all of you as well. At this time, our assembly is coming to a close. We know that our band will be playing as you're heading out. And at this time, I'm going to ask you to head back to Block 4, please. Have a good rest of the afternoon. Thank you.